basically got Celsius Network Limited. They lent about 10.2 billion to LLC, but they also had 2.5 billion of assets and 1.3 billion of collateral. So that's 1.2 billion net. So that was mark to market at the time. Then you've got the mining stuff. So the US company lent about 1.1 billion to the mining, to the lending, sorry. And remember, it's more complicated because there's all the collateral as well. And then so the loans were transferred to the lending company. The collateral was transferred to some of it was stayed in the UK company. Others went to the other entity. And then who actually made the loan to mining versus, I think that was a fraudulent transaction.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see in court, right? I mean, that's obviously going to be that's a huge loan. That'll be a big source of the discovery. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, all those charts with the breakdown of the coin reports and stuff are all up in the nest. So the first three, I mean, the next two, not the first, but yeah, the second and third.
Yeah, but I mean, this is why I think it's backwards. And I don't know why UCC and Celsius are doing it. They obviously know something I don't know. But if you could just prove substantive consolidation straight away, you don't even need to know what the intercompany loan or the value of the assets are.
They just wanted to.
The loans just disappear.
It's just present value of the crypto, the wallets, right? Yeah, which is kind of how they were proceeding. The whole front part of this case is how they were.
Why are they doing it last?
Right. They wanted a bill. I mean, it baffles me that the people that are doing the least amount of work are actually charging more than Kirkland and Ellis. It is fucking asinine. Kirkland and Ellis is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, in every respect, and their bill is less. That's insane.
The maximum amount that White & Case has billed the estate so far was $4.2 million, which they did in January of this year. They're averaging $3.5 million per month, whereas Kirkland Ellis billed $10.1 million for January and February. They're averaging $5 million per month.
We got billed $14 million from White & Case last month. $10 million from Kirkland Ellis.
What's up, Thin Skin Simon?
For the month?
No, just last month.
What was that, Grizzly?
Thin Skin Simon. I make one comment and you block me.
One comment.
I made one comment and you blocked me because you threw someone's name out without evidence.
Do you have a question?
I don't have to have a question, Craig.
I see where you get your name. We're just having a good discussion here, man.
Well, it's not a good discussion when someone's up here lying constantly.
Yeah, but somebody coming up and accusing of lying always brings a lot. What is he lying about specifically?
Just throwing out random people's names on Twitter without any fucking evidence. Oh, wait. He's a private consultant. He knows everything.
No, we weren't even talking about anything.
I don't care, Kirk. You kicked someone off the stage the other night that had a straight question. I'm pissed about that.
Who, me? I didn't kick anybody off, dude. Listen, it happened. It wasn't on me. I don't kick anybody out.
Do you have a question?
Anthony, how's your day going?
Good. I'm about to get off. I'm actually just pulled up to the gym.
Enjoy your workout.
Yeah, enjoy getting off, Anthony.
I just woke up, though, and I see you guys going at it this morning. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, no one was getting at it. We were just working to get the best result for creditors.
I'm just playing, Simon.
Yeah, there's been
there was some going after earlier, though.
Yeah, I mean, that was unnecessary, and Craig, you asked for it. I mean, I told you.
Don't start with me,
No, I'm
Kiefer.
saying.
Just so, I mean, I don't think anyone gives a fuck, but my block policy is, firstly, I never blocked anyone. Then I got a bunch of people that were deliberately asking the same questions 1,000 times, even though they'd already known the answer, and then continuing to ask it with an agenda. And if people continue to do that, I don't think they should benefit from all the work and all the spaces.
Point that out for me. Point that out for me, brother. Come on.
And then if they keep doing that, then I don't think they should benefit from all my spaces and all the work I'm doing for creditors. They can just watch a recording. That's all. That's the only reason I do it, because if it ruins a space, then creditors lose, and I'm here for creditors.
So me just saying that you better watch your ass for calling people out that you didn't have evidence on. You blocked me. One fucking comment.
Not one comment.
That's it.
No. That's the last comment when you call me a criminal.
I didn't call you criminal. I said watch your ass.
Yes, you did.
Oh, you mean you threatened him?
No, I didn't threaten him.
Simon,
I was pointing out that he's being blocked.
It's a threat.
Hey, Simon, you remember way back when I told you
it's
all this was
also
going to happen?
a warning.
Yeah, a threat is often thought of as a warning. Yeah.
Because I don't have legal capacity to go after him, but that person does.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, I look forward to that.
Do you have any question having to do with Hellsius?
Craig, I don't care. Who are you the host? Are you the co-host? Shut up.
Hey guys, this is normally the point at which I leave.
Yeah, this is where everyone leaves because some asshole comes on and starts talking like an idiot.
Yeah, the biggest asshole on earth. Da da da. Because I am.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to what I was doing before.
Bye,
Thanks a lot,
Finskin.
everybody.
Hey guys.
Looking like a penis.
Just wanted to say hi to everyone. So
I'm heading out as well.
I didn't.
Right, well, everyone's been having fun. I figured out a method. I have to use a second phone to invite people up.
I just wanted to say
I just did what I came up here to do. Thank you.
Do you feel better now, Jason?
No, I'm just tired of fucking listening to him.
I think your ungrateful cunt should be grateful for Simon's hard work.
I'm sorry, Ali. I'm going to bow down to him. Ooh. All the fucking lies that he tells you. All the fucking things that he thinks he's told you was true. It's a 50-50 shot. We all could have fucking guessed the same thing he does.
Buddy, I'm sorry your life has turned out like this. I hope you can get some help.
Greg, shut up.
Okay, Grizzly. I'll take your advice. Stupid.
Thank you. That's why you're blocked. And you have been blocked since the beginning. Little
Jeez,
bitch.
what a shame. I really feel like I'm missing out there.
You are, because all you listen to is fucking Simon. That's why you fucking bow down to him. You do exactly the same thing you did with Alex. You follow without knowing.
I'm sorry. We should all listen to you, oh wise one.
No, you shouldn't. And I tell everyone not to listen to me, Craig. I don't fucking preach like you.
You just come in and fuck up the whole space. You don't have anything going on in your life. Yeah, you can sing, sweetheart. You can swing.
Yeah, I can.
Man, Jason, look, and Ali, since you're here, I'm just going to say it, right? Look, I mean, Ali, it started with you asking those questions, and I think they were about stuff that happened in the past. And, you know, at that point, we were all just trying to have a conversation that was not really, because I don't think that he's a threat to any of us at this moment. Like, I mean, he's
a huge threat to these people.
No,
people actually listen to him, and they actually has intelligent things to say.
Ali asked the question.
That's a huge threat.
That's why his business is doing so spectacular. That's why Gary Gensler is not going to put him down when the fucking stupid bullshit 1,000 to 2,000 people behind one investment contract. Yeah, let's see how that keeps working out. That's his whole business, dummy.
I'm a dummy now. You out of the second grade?
Do you keep up on current events? I guess not.
No, but Jason, I mean, listen, like at this moment, all our interests are aligned. I don't think that there's any angle that he can use to freaking, to rehash any of the shit that was going on before.
When somebody has actually built something, all these assholes come out and just try and tear it down.
What has he built? He gives equity
in your life. You've never built anything in your life. All you do is tear apart. He's built a community here. He has a lot of people.
I built something that he doesn't have. A
An
family.
idiot character.
Yeah. Okay.
But I
I
mean,
built
the
something
point
that's
is,
more spectacular than him
but
that he could
Jason,
ever build.
Jason, the point is that he wasn't like he wasn't dissing freaking Cell Token, and look, after
I
Ali,
don't give a fuck. I'm tired of hearing the fucking guy speak.
yeah, no,
That's
but
It's
why.
all the
That's
same
why you come.
lies.
That's why you come up and
cheaper.
spoil a space because you're tired. You
It's
narcissist
cheaper. I
little
think.
fuck.
Yes, I am the narcissist. It's all about me.
I mean, I personally think that after Ali, like BTC, crypto BTC came up, and he started he's such an antagonist. He really is, and I was really annoyed with him today.
Why were you
know,
annoyed with him? He
no,
asked a
but
couple questions, and so did I. And Simon just ran off without answering my questions.
no.
I
Listen, your
haven't
questions.
insulted him.
I know, but your questions, I think, listen, man, I don't know the whole story and whatever, and I'm sure you had your reasons to ask him. I've never seen you, like, say
What was
anything
your
bad about
question,
him
Ali?
before.
Ali, what was your question?
Man, it's just an accumulation of stuff, you know. First,
That's
when
not
the
a
pause
question.
first
What
happens,
was your question?
He's
you
getting
ask me
to
a
it,
question.
Craig.
Do you want me
Craig,
Let
to
him
come,
answer
come,
answer?
it.
come, come
If
on,
you
can we
stop
like,
interrupting, I'm going to
yeah,
answer.
be amicable. Let's not go around in fucking circles like we did 3 hours ago.
Oh.
Let him go on, Ali.
It's just an accumulation of stuff. First, when the pause happens, he emails Mashinsky, tries to say, I could be the voice of concern. And then he goes around stabbing the guy in his back in his business. And then he turns
What
around and
was
says
the
that the Celsius
question?
assets are worthless. No, dude, you asked me a question. Let me answer. Then he
You're not
turns around and says
answering.
Then he turns around and says that the Celsius assets are worthless, the Sol token is worthless, despite it being on the balance sheet.
He
He
never
turns
said
around and
that. He
says that
never
the
said
Bitcoin
that.
mining business is worthless while running a Bitcoin mining business. And then he rocks up in El Salvador to set up the biggest mining rig with the
Then lies
president
about
of
$6
that
billion.
country.
So all that
Man,
is
it's
true.
just like contradiction upon contradiction upon contradiction.
No, I agree with you,
You're
Ali.
unable to say the question that you asked.
No, he
I
did. He
asked
asked.
him the simple question.
No,
If you know that Mashinsky was a scam or Celsius was a scam, at what point did you know, and why did you what did you do to mitigate the loss to the Series A or Series B investors who you bought from your platform? If I tell you, if I turn around and say, hey, crypto keeper, my friend, come and invest in this platform, and I find out that it's a scam down the road, I'm going to turn around and say, dude, I think there's something dodgy going on here. Like, what did you do to mitigate the losses of the people who invested on Celsius through your platform? These are reasonable questions, and everyone just going like batshit against me. I'm asking a simple question.
no.
No, there was nothing simple about your question. There was
I
nothing simple about your question.
all I will
Well,
say, Ali, listen, you had your reasons, and I think you're a reasonable dude. I personally, like, in our interactions or even in any of our spaces, you've never come up hard or heavy on Simon before, and you've been in many of the spaces where I've had him as speaker. So I mean, like, look, I know that you probably had your reasons. I'm not sure what's going on in the background. Simon did mention some stuff. I am far removed from all that stuff. I don't really know
Yeah,
the
but
entire
you've been
details.
asking the question. At what point did you realize it? What point did you realize it?
No, but I agree with Ali because I mean I was fighting that same fight as well, and that was old. But my point is
I'm
like
actually
now,
talking to Ali right
I know
now.
I get
At
it,
what
but
point did you realize it, Ali?
no, Ali,
I
Ali,
didn't.
Ali, listen.
That's the thing. I didn't. I didn't until it's too late. I didn't have access to the data that Simon had.
No,
That's my point.
Ali, the threat is averted
Kiefer,
because
let him answer,
hold. I'm
please.
getting to it, Craig. Please. I'm
No,
pretty
you
good at.
please.
No, I'm pretty good at keeping the peace over here. So let me do my thing. All right.
Buddy, we don't have time.
And now you don't. You have plenty of
We have
time.
all the
Clearly,
time in the world.
you have
Let
clearly a lot
let
of time.
people
We've
let
all been
people
here.
answer for
Let me get to
themselves.
the question. Ali, listen. I was just gonna say, man. I mean, all that stuff was old, and now I feel like our what do you call it? Our interests are aligned, and he's bowed out of the process. He's no longer going to be bidding towards Celsius, and he did not stand a chance. So for me, when I look at it that way, that threat was averted, and now I think things have changed. He's no
What was
longer.
your question?
He wasted his time because he went to an auction without any money. It's ridiculous. Why would you go into a car showroom if you can't afford the
No,
cars?
you
Yeah,
missed
no,
it,
I
Ali.
know that.
Right,
Why do you guys care about him so much? I
Listen,
really don't get it.
We don't. We're trying to avert any further danger. This guy, do you know how many people have sold their cases to Cherokee because they've listened to people like Simon water down the value of the assets?
I get it.
They've turned around and they've
No,
put
do you
Simon, wait,
know how many?
just
Do you know
one
how
second.
many?
I'm quite speaking. Look, respectfully, when you talk, I keep quiet and I listen to what you're saying. So you have to listen to me,
Fair
or
enough. Fair enough.
we're not going to be able to communicate. So
Fair
look,
enough.
Simon has 70, 80,000 followers. He's an influencer to a degree. Other people have invested through his platform. Therefore, he has a voice. And a man with a voice, if he turns around and here are these non-sophisticated investors, they're listening to someone who they believe is smarter than them, who knows how to make more money than them, turn around and say Celsius is a scam, Celsius's assets are valueless, the Sol token is valueless, the Bitcoin mining business isn't worth anything. And these people are already in despair. They're already in financial and emotional distress. And they're hearing a source who has a voice turning around and saying that the assets are valueless. What are these poor people going to do? They're going to sell their
Okay,
assets cents to the
I'd like to
dollar.
answer your question. First of all, you made a case that isn't even accurate at all. He was willing to give the Cell token 81 cents. He's never said that all the assets were worthless, not even a little bit.
Yes,
He
he
actually
did.
mentioned that. No,
He
He
has,
did.
Craig.
shut up and
That was
listen.
He did.
Shut up and
No,
listen. He
no,
wanted
Craig.
to
Yo,
give
he
the
most
best
definitely
value.
said it.
He most definitely said it. I was there in a space with Otis. All right, carry on.
Ali, listen. I was just gonna say, you know what my position on that is, right? I think I've been very clear about it. You've heard me plenty of times. We don't need to even discuss that. And I agree with you. Valid points. But I mean, now I think the situation is
What
different.
valid point? Simon never said all the assets were
Let
worthless.
me talk to him because I think we kind of relate a little better than between
You
you
relate
two.
with everybody. That's
Yes,
not the point.
that's the point. So maybe you should not butt in at this point because you're making it worse. You're escalating it. I'm de-escalating.
I don't
It was
care
on
about
my
escalation.
spaces. Simon said it that the Bitcoin mining is too much of a cost. It is not worth anything.
This is old.
Words out of Simon's mouth.
Do you really think he said it wasn't worth anything?
No, but
I
this
was
is
on the space with him. It's more
But
of a cost. He said it's more of a
no one is
liability.
going to
It's
say it's not worth
worthless.
anything.
Actually, he
He
said
said
two
it.
things.
He
He
said
said
it.
two things. He
He
said,
said it was
A,
the
the
least
Bitcoin
valuable
mining business
asset.
was unprofitable. And then he turned around and said that it wasn't profitable. And he said that it was worthless.
but Ali and Jason, listen. This was a long time ago, and I think the situation has changed. It is now kind of
Yeah.
leveled things out a lot, right? And to where I don't think that's going to be I don't think he's a
No,
threat
Kurt,
in
here,
that sense.
Keeper, this is why it matters, is because Craig believes that he's never said this thing. So that means he's believing
I'm
a
telling you
false
what.
narrative,
Okay.
which he's
Listen.
being blinded by
Listen.
following another fucking asshole on Twitter, and he's
Yeah.
getting all his information. He's not doing his own research. He's doing exactly what he did with
First of all, you're
Celsius.
wrong. You're wrong. And I'm telling you right now, he said it wasn't a good buy. It wasn't a good deal, and it wasn't being profitable. He never said Celsius assets were all zero. He
My
fought to
spaces,
get
he
the most
said
for
it
it.
in the beginning. Were you there, Craig?
Look.
Yes.
No.
Listen, but now I think the situation has changed. So the playing field is evened out, right? I mean, and I don't think that really applies to.
Simon, did you say that the mining was worthless?
He's not even
He
up
runs
here.
away. The minute that someone is going to ask these questions, he runs away. Oh, I need to go.
He's
He
back.
doesn't like
He's
scrutiny.
back.
Hey,
Bring him
He's
He's
back.
here.
back.
hey guys,
He is. He's back.
hey,
Simon.
if we want to have a calm conversation, because I have answered all these questions 1,000 times, I can answer them again
Exactly.
because Ali may not have heard the answer, and I can send you a video where I've answered them 1,000 times as well. So all of these questions have been
Simon, I
answered.
was in the spaces. Buddy, I was in the
Let
spaces
him
when you
talk.
said these.
Let him
No,
talk.
what I'm saying, if you give me one question at a time and we're actually having a genuine conversation with the thought of actually listening, then I'll answer your questions. If you just want to have a fight, I don't need to have a fight.
I agree. We're not here to fight.
Okay.
I'm not interested in fighting either.
Okay. So Ali, I've answered all of your questions, and I'll do it one more time if you want. But do them one at a time.
Can I go before?
I have my hand raised for a while. Just
Mandalorian, yes, he did have his
yeah.
hand up for a very long time.
Just give me 1 minute, please. Because um, what do you guys are doing right now? It doesn't help anyone, does it? So the time to
They genuinely think it does. They
wait.
think Simon is dangerous, and they're protecting the community
No,
from Simon.
don't antagonize it, Craig.
Man,
They just agreed
I'm
to,
not
talk.
antagonizing
Let them
anyone.
talk.
That's what they
yeah,
think. That's what they think.
Grifter's gonna grift.
the
Just finish
founder
his point. He's
the
right.
founder and CEO of Celsius was dangerous, and we all follow them, didn't we?
Yeah, can
So
I ask? Look, someone moderate. Yeah, do one question at a time. We won't speak over each other. I'll answer. I'll put 30 minutes in to answer all those questions, and then I'll send you a video where I've answered it 1,000 times before. Is that okay?
Ali, go ahead. What's your question, Ali?
Do one question at a time, and then listen to the answer, and listen with the intent of actually hearing. And I'll listen to your
it doesn't make.
question.
Sorry, Simon. I have nothing against you. I said this before. You have your interests in the beginning. Your interests now are probably different. You answering 1,000 times the same answer or the same question doesn't mean it makes the answer true. This
Sure.
goes to everyone,
Well, I'll give you
not
my
only you.
version, and you
Yeah,
decide
yeah.
whether they're lies or not, and
No,
that's fine. But I
no,
don't
no.
want to answer the same question again, because what I'm
Ali, just ask your
why you
question.
do it?
Ali, ask your question.
So why do you spend time to do it if you said your answer 1,000 times? There's no need. Just
That's not a great question. Come on, Ali, ask your
I'll ask a
question.
specific
What do you
question.
got?
What's the
place
first
of
question?
not mine. I don't have any questions. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Ali, go. First question.
Now the issue is I'm dressed up, ready to go for a run, and Simon came back. So, guys, Simon, the timing isn't the best, but let me quickly just ask one question.
Yeah.
There's multiple
Yeah. So let's
questions,
do one at a
and
time.
there's stuff that you've
One at a time.
yeah.
Not all.
So there's stuff that fine, the stuff that you've done over the time that's made me think that you have contrary intentions to the best interest of the Celsius creditors.
Okay.
Firstly, so did you send that WhatsApp message? Did you send that to Mishinsky saying I could be the voice of concern
Yeah.
or the voice of calm?
That's a real message.
Okay. So once you sent that message the following day, so you write to the guy saying, let me help you. And then the following day, you go out on full scale attack. Is that how friendship works?
No. So I was. So the sequence of events is on the 12th of June. We got a pause at the same day as my father passing away. I was out of Twitter.
May he rest in peace.
Thank you. Then I think on the 17th of June, I contacted Alex Msg and said, "Did you know? I've worked on the Bitfinex plan. Let me tell you how I would resolve this." I then had a call with him, and I told him, "You have 2 weeks. You have to disclose the financial position of the company, and here's what I would do." And I gave him a version of the Bitfinex plan. And I said, I can go out and raise finance for this. And I started working on a reorganization plan. And then that then got a message a couple of days later saying, can you pitch it to Citibank? And so I then pitched it to Citibank, disclosed that I'm a shareholder, a creditor, and that we were working on a security law compliant and engaged in an M&A conversation to build a security law compliant version of Celsius. And then Citibank didn't respond to that. And then Alex later came back, and this was me chasing him, whatever the timeline is, saying, look, I'm about to go public, or whatever I said. I can be the voice of the reason. I've been joining some of the community. Let me know what the situation is. And he never told me what the situation is. And so I said, if you don't do this in a certain time frame, this is going to completely spiral out of control. And at this time, I was all working off the assumption that, this is a company that's just got itself in some kind of trouble, because I wasn't following the AMAs every week. I invested in the Series A in 2020 when it was an institutional lending business, and our coins were not meant to be invested. They were just meant to be lent to people that wanted to speculate, and they're all over collateralized. That is a completely different business model that I invested into, that I ended up receiving shares in. And so at that stage, I then started looking at, I saw Plan C's post where there was an accusation that FTX had taken the company down. I came out and went public and said, I'm going to put a team to look into this. And then when we looked into it, we found out all sorts of things that Hellsius and Alex Msg were doing. And then I very specifically, on one day, then Alex Msg offered me a director role. And I thought he was setting me up for something which was going to ruin my career. So I went there, I went back to my legal counsel, and my legal counsel said, don't touch this, don't take that director role. So then I didn't take that director role. And then I started going deep and got really obsessive over what was happening within this company. Put a team on it to figure out what was going on. And then when I realized that I believe there was an incredible amount of fraudulent activity after speaking to several insiders as well, I decided to go public and let the community know that several things. The first thing I let them know is that Cell Token is in the middle of a criminal investigation, and people really didn't like that. The second thing I let them know is that this company's insolvent, it's not illiquid. The third thing I said, you'll probably never hear from Alex Msg again. I was wrong, but the principle of what I was saying was true. And then immediately I started working on how could you implement the Bitfinex plan in compliance with securities laws. I hired legal counsel, and when I hired that legal counsel, they introduced me to a syndicate of investors that specialize in this. And then I went out to all the crypto people and put together, if the terms are right and the information is all released, how we could launch a stable coin in order to fill the hole, but we didn't know the size of the hole. And put together a whole plan, gave it to Alex Msg, and we just simply never heard back. And then we got the Chapter 11 filing. And then the more and more I investigated, the more and more I realized that there was very nefarious activities and fraud that still hasn't been even covered in the examiner report yet, that will come in the criminal case later.
Ali, did that answer your question? And they were never friends, by the way.
So Simon touched on many, many things. I wish I was taking down notes because I want to dive into those things and to ask further questions. Simon, sorry, can you repeat that final thing that you said, the final sentence?
I believe that what you've got in the examiner report is the light version to get us out of Chapter 11, and there is a more heavy version that will come out in the years ahead that involves a criminal case.
So basically what you've done is you've got all this hearsay evidence that you can't prove, that you have no evidence, no witness statement to put forward, and you're just out there as this influencer pushing this forward. How does that come across from a professional person?
I have no agenda to put anything forward. I just know what I'm giving a theory to everybody that I gave to everyone.
You're not giving a theory. You're accusing the gentleman of many things, and you're saying that you can't, it's unfounded because you can't put any evidence out there to prove that X, Y, and Z happened. Because in your own words, nobody has come forward or signed any witness statement to prove that X and Y happened.
Ali,
I say that's irrelevant.
Say that at all. He didn't say that at all. He gave his own personal opinion.
No, I'm listening to him very well, actually. Word to word.
Let them talk.
Word to word. Mm-hmm. So there's all this stuff.
I have a theory about what is best for creditors, and I believe that Alex Msg and creditors are on the opposite side of how to get the best recovery for creditors. And I'm trying to give my perspective and have as much influence as possible. For why? One, because I'm the 7th largest creditor in this platform, and I'd like as much of my money back as possible. Secondly, because we launched a beta securities law compliant version of this platform, and 90% of that claim is mine because I was the largest customer. So my retirement plan was on that as well. And then also, in order to test out this, Bank to the Future also put some coins. And I was very upset when Alex Msg, after processing withdrawals and knowing the situation, tried to get a bailout by getting more of our clients' retirement funds to go into his platform. And when I refused, we had something that I would call an altercation. Then I've just been constantly thinking that what is the best way of getting the funds back for creditors? And I worked on 4 different iterations of a plan. First, I gave them the reorg plan. Secondly, I put together a restructuring alongside and gave that to Hellsius. Then I started working on putting in a bidding process just to do nothing but give people the assets and give people their equity. And just so you know, Ali, the way that the auction's being structured right now is it's using 2 of my structures, which I gave Hellsius. One was the plan that Nova Wolf is using, which is a reorg. And second is the plan of a controlled liquidation where the estate has to pay in order to execute it. And Bank to the Future was willing to do it for free. We weren't selected for the right reasons because we're not a US first company. And I think that we're not big enough in order to execute on all of these transactions. And the only core difference here between me and you, Ali, is that you believe that Alex Msg and creditors are on the same side and that Cell Token and creditors are on the same side. And I laid out a theory of what I think is what I think we need to do to get out of Chapter 11 as fast as possible. And people in a certain part of the camp consider that all lies.
Simon, this is a huge response that you've provided, and it's just standing up on my feet. I can't just turn around and there's many questions that I want to ask,
I
but
can send
as
you a video, Ali, where I've answered all these questions. You just haven't been involved.
where
You haven't been paying attention.
right, and as you go past them, I then forget that question, and then I have another question in my mind. So there's some stuff that you've said and done which doesn't help. Like, for example, you now call them your furries, but because they're unfounded, you can't get a staff member or the people who used to work in the company to come forward and to say that X, Y, and Z happened. So
Sorry,
if you do this and it's
theories on.
unfounded,
Can we just get it clear?
your
Theories on how. Sorry,
allegations,
Ali.
do you now call them furries?
No. There's 2 different things. There's my theories of how we get the best result for creditors, which is changed 4 times throughout this process as I've learned more information.
Right.
And then there are things that I know that happen afterwards that led to us being in this position. I completely separate those 2 things.
Okay, so how
But
do
when
you
Alex
know
Msg
that?
comes back in the case, it turns out that it is in creditors' interest to know certain bits of information. And so therefore I release more information based upon what I think will give the best result for creditors, because I think people are going to fall for some serious games.
So why are these ex-staff members speaking to you and not the Securities and Exchange Commission or the lawyers? What
Who
do you
said they're
offer
not?
to these
Who said
ex-staff
they're not?
members?
Who said they're not? I never said that.
If they did, wouldn't it have fallen into court dockets by now, or we would have found out about it?
Not while it's in Chapter
No,
11.
not while investigation is going on. The
I
Fed does
believe.
not
I
produce that
believe
information.
that. I believe that they're giving us a chance to get out of Chapter 11 before all of this ruins our chance of recovery. That's my belief.
Did that answer your question, Ali?
So I think Simon said a lot of stuff that I need to sit down and go through. I've
I
had a
understand.
lot of questions that I need to, that I want to ask him, but because he's given such a lengthy response, I can't address each question that I wanted to ask.
I
But
gotcha. He
CMO,
said
you
there's
had your hand up.
I
Ali's done.
appreciate your time, Simon, and I appreciate you coming back to answer these questions. I think all of us want the best outcome for the creditors, but at the end of the day, like the sell token or not, because like the sell token or not, it's on the balance sheet. So if it loses value, then if the company is going to do a full recovery, which in this case it isn't, it doesn't help the balance sheet. It makes a
Yeah,
hole bigger.
let me answer that then,
And
Ali.
then,
So
yeah, go
I
on.
believed from day one that Cell Token would never be released from the app. And so in all my plans, I said, give Cell token holders 81 cents because there's going to be a massive argument if we don't. And just use the petition date and get rid of all the other tokens and just focus on Bitcoin and ETH, because I think if you don't have security law compliant equity and Bitcoin, which has clarity as a commodity, and Ethereum that is the closest to a proof of stake thing that's not considered a security, then we have much less chance of being objected by the DOJ and the SEC. And I said that from day one. And here's what happened. Those that own Cell token took that as me attacking Cell token holders when I was actually defending the value and diluting everyone else in order to give a better recovery to Cell token holders. But if you watch the video, I released a video called The Equitable Haircut Strategy, where I laid out exactly why I would give 81 cents to Cell token holders, why it's worth the dilution for those that own the Bitcoin and ETH and all the other tokens, and why it will stop us having a regulatory issue and will get in the way of us getting out of that. And I let people know that really early on. And people Right. So the Cell token is worthless, but you've got a chance in bankruptcy to get 81 cents for it if you play your cards right. If you align with Alex Msg, I believe you'll get 0 for it.
Did you offer up money to get a lawyer?
I spent $1.2 million on legal fees.
Yeah, that's on the whole thing. I'm talking about Cell token.
Sorry?
To help those creditors, did you offer up legal help?
No.
So we didn't have the money, took it any way we could. We weren't approached by Alex. He did it himself. We found out at the same time you all did.
Sure. I'm trying to help you, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, where that leads.
Then tell the UCC stop fucking around and just do the 81 cents, and then Alex is out of the picture.
He has told
I already have.
Simon.
I already have. I believe I'm the one that actually fought for Cell token more than anyone else in the behind the
That's
scenes.
laughable. Okay, Simon. So, do you agree that at the beginning
Really,
of
you
the
stood up in court about Cell
token?
token?
Just so you
know, because
I
did stand up in court about Cell token, and CMO Bro had his hand up for a while.
No, sorry. By Cell token, I don't mean I fought to keep it alive. I knew two things really early on. Celsius
wasn't fighting to keep it alive.
No, Celsius 2.0 will never emerge. That's what I had a theory of. And Cell token will never be released from the app. And so I started working on solutions for that the Cell community didn't like.
Well, you were wrong on that, because Cell token was released from the app with custody. So there goes, you're wrong. And no, the Celsius community did not work delusional. You're making up things. Maybe a couple were, and that's like 3.
No Cell has been released. Custody has not been released yet.
But
yes, it has. I know for a fact.
You're talking about pure custody.
CMO Bro, go ahead.
Yeah, hi.
Can I answer the question about the mining assets as well? And me devaluing the assets? So I'd like you to look back in all the history and look at, if you actually want the answer. And you'll see that I put together a plan to maximize the assets to try and get the best result for creditors. Why? Because I'm the 7th largest creditor, I remind you again. I was so focused on other people's claims that I even missed that 289 Bitcoin was missing from my account, which I was the only one where that happened to. Question that, but I'm not.
Send Rob Hall or Jammers a Bitcoin for helping you.
I did. I thanked him many times. And then he now's taken me to court to try and disallow it. So that's, so he found that for me. Tony confirmed it, and it all happened publicly. Now, the value of the assets, if you look at every one of my plan was about how do I get all the assets to be represented by equity so that creditors get 100% of them. And there was 2 things that I said about the mining operation. Firstly, it's currently being managed a disaster. It's completely unprofitable if you take it as a standalone organization. And the reason is because there's over 50% downtime. It is currently being neglected. Our assets put in the hands of another operator could make us a shit ton of money. And all I said was 2 things. Now, firstly, where did this whole thing come from that I said that the Bitcoin mining is worthless? There was 2 conversations. One conversation was Otis was accusing me of trying to buy up all of the assets on the cheap. And then I replied to that saying, I have no interest in operating a Bitcoin mining operation. It has the least value to me. And that tweet was used in order to say that I said the mining operation is worthless. I have always given credit to Anthony and for helping me see that there is a valuable restructure in the mining operation. So my 3 comments were, 1, I have no interest in taking over a mining operation. That's true. It's worthless to me. I don't want to operate a mining operation. And your accusations at me for trying to buy it on the cheap are completely false. The second is that
No, you said that the Bitcoin mining business was worthless. We were in Spaces, and I heard you say, you say that the Bitcoin mining business was worthless.
Okay,
this was a very long time ago. Yeah.
Do you have a recording of it?
I never recorded my Spaces, Simon. You know that.
Do you have a tweet of it? Well, it's just memory, right? At the moment, and I'm not saying I didn't. I'm not saying I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I was telling you.
Just like the same thing of you going around and saying that Msg did that with no evidence. At least we have many people within this community.
Can I give you my position? Can I give you my position on Bitcoin mining?
As you wish.
I believe that Cell Token is worthless from day one till today. But I do believe that you could get 81 cents for it if you are smart and you do things in the right way. That's my belief on Cell Token assets. Okay. The other assets, all of our Bitcoin and crypto and private equity, I've been working on how do we get a structure where creditors get 100% of the benefit from that with a compliant operator that can distribute.
Quick question.
Now the mining, just the mining.
You've touched on it, but I don't want you to go past it. So you said that you think that it's worthless, right? I'm only interrupting because you answer a question, then you go ahead, then you open another subject. I don't want to go past it.
The Bitcoin mining operation is not worthless. It is currently, or it was unprofitable because it's got bad uptime and it's run by bad operators, and it's in Chapter 11.
So in respect of this Cell Token, how does something have value? In 2 sentences maximum, please. How does something have value?
Well, firstly, it's got to be legal to trade on an exchange, and then people can engage in buy and sell orders.
Well, I don't agree, but not everything that has value or financial value should be able to be traded.
Okay.
So let's say this.
Think it's worth something.
It's a utility token. Yeah. It's a utility token. So it has financial value because if you hold the Cell Token, you get the loans at a cheaper APR and you get a higher APY for your lending. So to turn around and say that...
I believe that's a security and that you won't be able to trade that in the US in the future. And that's it. It won't get us out of Chapter 11 and it caused issue for Voyager. In fact, fucked up the whole case.
Ali, just to chime in, the court deemed it worthless at the beginning of the court. So I mean, you got to take that into consideration, right? I mean, that came out.
It only has value if Celsius continues its operation.
Anyway, Ali, this is
at the beginning of the bankruptcy.
Can I just say, I don't think this one helps us. You believe it has value. I believe it's valueless.
No, he's not saying that. He's saying at the beginning of the bankruptcy, when we didn't know that they were they had we thought they had a liquidity problem, not an insolvency problem. That's why you would have bought during the pause and by the time the filing. That's what he's getting at.
I knew they had insolvency, and they were lying.
So if Celsius continues to operate as a business, then the Cell Token will have value. But the Cell Token doesn't have any value if it doesn't have any utility within the app. So if Celsius isn't operating anymore, and if it doesn't continue to operate, and then therefore it won't have any future value if Celsius doesn't continue to operate.
Ali, I knew 2 things. I knew 2 things that I knew that there was never going to be a Celsius 2.0, and I told everyone.
Right.
And I knew that the Cell Token has no value because I got a decade of experience.
So no evidence. So you were just going off of hypotheticals. You didn't know at that time.
Hold on.
I'm trying to let you paint the picture. At the time when they filed bankruptcy, no one knew, and you didn't know. You took a guess. a 50-50 shot.
No,
Any one of us
I
could
took
have done it.
100% shot. I knew from my
No.
experience that was the
It was a
case.
50-50 shot on the outcome. You didn't have
No,
the proof. You
I
didn't
wouldn't do it.
provide the proof.
I would not put my reputation on a 50-50. I would
You
tell
have
you it's
multiple times.
50-50.
You do it every day. You did the
Like what?
DD on Celsius. Your reputation is nothing.
2020,
But
2020.
Jason,
Hey, you guys,
The
do you
2020
have questions?
DD
Ali, do you
was
have
an
a question?
institutional lending platform.
I think
say that again?
CM, bro, you've been there really good. What's your question?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is. I don't want to sound cynical or anything, Simon. Like, this is only my personal opinion. You guys put this word I'm gonna use, community, to basically fight each other to defend rich people. So poor people are fighting each other, right? I mean, quote unquote, poor people. My question is, like, when you write a tweet, you want to give out information, do you write it yourself, or is there a sentiment you want to get out? Because for some reason, I don't, like, you put up one side of the community who are Simon supporters against Mashinsky supporters, and whoever defends Mashinsky is a bad guy, and I don't see how it helps the case unless it's for your engagement. Like, I don't, you know what I'm getting at?
Because Alex Msg could end up with all the assets and could end up with a bunch of value and destroying creditors' income. And I believe he's a sociopath.
But if he has criminal charges that you know he's going to get hemmed up on, that doesn't matter. All that's going to have to come back.
It does matter.
Grizzly,
That's what I'm saying.
Shut up, Grizzly. Yeah, okay, but
if you went to the beginning of this conversation, I was sharing why I think that can happen.
Yeah, I understand.
And I
that.
still think that
I understand that. But the question is, like, if I hate Mashinsky from the bottom of my heart, like today, right? How does that influence the court? How does that influence the outcome, basically? Because it's a
I don't
feeling.
think he's talking about hate. He's talking about telling what his beliefs are about what Alex did.
Yeah, I understand.
And that's reasonable to talk about.
Yeah.
It took
So it's
me
basically
9 months.
slander until you could prove it.
Ali, it took
Simon,
me 8
you're
months to
committing slander because you can't prove you can't prove what you're saying. That's what slander is. And if it causes emotional,
Ali,
and I don't believe anyone supports Alex. You've made
you're
that
defaming him. You're defaming him.
What is Simon saying that he can't prove? Fraud? That he lied?
Everything he's saying, loads of things. Mashinsky is a scammer. Mashinsky is this. Mashinsky is that.
Ali, you may not know the game. You may not know the game yet, but defending Alex does not help.
I'm not defending Alex, dude.
See, that's the problem.
Get your rule. Look, apply this rule to anyone. I'm gonna come out and say, let me choose a name on this list. Somebody who's okay. Joe Lair is a
pick me.
Yeah. Joe is a scammer. Joe did this. Joe did that. Oh, I can't share my source, but Joe is a scammer. That's what you're doing.
Let me, Ali,
well
did pointing out. No, but let me ask you a question. Did pointing out that Sam Bankman-Fried was a scammer help the FTX creditors?
We have evidence that he's a scammer.
Because hold on, Ali. No, it didn't, because a ton of them got locked up after we were yelling at them since our beginning of our chapter 11, or beginning of the pause to get the fuck off of FTX. And no, people still got stuck on there.
As soon as John Ray came in, it helped creditors stop all the games that stopped SPF working against creditors' interests.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Ali, you are more than happy to slander SPF, but you don't want to slander Alex because you have a bias and I have a bias, and that's it. Everything you accuse me of doing, you do to SPF.
If you read my tweet, when last year, when Alex Mashinsky first gave out his written statement, that first written statement, I went through every page and I've made it absolutely clear that I didn't agree with what was happening on Celsius. But I don't think to call somebody a scammer, there are legal requirements. I'm not a lawyer. I don't. Yeah, go on.
If you want to be my lawyer, then that's fine. I believe that everything I say won't have legal consequences for me because I know that I've got.
Just be careful, because to slander people is very dangerous, especially with the fact that you know and you agree that you don't have the basis or the evidence to support your
Not true.
slander.
Not true.
Ali, I have a question for you. Is there evidence that Alex committed fraud with Celsius?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yes.
Ali, if there isn't, then say goodbye to your recovery because shareholders have everything.
There's obvious. He misrepresented what the company
You
was.
fucking took him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I only
That's
came on to
fraud.
Ali, if
Celsius.
you
That's
get your
fraud.
way, shareholders own all the assets. If Alex did not commit fraud, shareholders own everything.
They should not have day traded our assets and done loads of stuff
You mean
that
they
they've
I'm
done.
shouldn't?
saying,
They
The
Ali,
whole
shouldn't
list
have
is
done
there.
exactly the
if
Swing
you
opposite
get
of
trading,
your
day
what
way,
he
trading,
said.
the
shareholders
whole
own the
list is there.
assets.
But I don't know what you know, Simon. That's the issue. Because you come
Yes,
out and
you
you
don't.
say X, Y, and
But
Z, and then when we say prove it, you're like, no. And then so like, well, then why say it if you can't prove it? Does that make
But
sense?
he does
because I
prove
think it
it.
helps creditors.
You guys really
How does it
hyping
help
up.
our creditors? How
It's not
has your
credits, it's
emails and
gaslighting.
your messages helped me? Tell me. All of the despair that you've
Ali,
created, I wonder how many
you will
people have
never
sold
know.
their
Ali, you will
tokens
never
to.
know how
Yep.
much I've
You
helped
think
creditors.
Simon's created the despair and not Alex? Really?
Bit chat,
I'm
you got
not
your hand up.
saying
Let's
that.
go.
I'm not saying that.
This
I'm
is
not
all
saying that.
Anthony's fault.
Bit
It's
I,
all
chat.
Anthony's fault.
Anyway, Ali, let me just.
Sorry, boys and girls, but like I've got to go, essentially. So I just got to let you guys chat and argue.
Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna go, but Ali, just so if you want to move forward,
you gotta go as
I
well.
Hold on,
believe.
Simon. Bitcheck had his hand up for a long while. He might have had a
Wait,
question
let
for
him
you. Can
finish
he
talking,
ask?
Ali. He's
I'm
let him
just
wrap it
before
up.
he bounces. I want to ask him. Can Bitcheck ask his question before you bounce, Simon?
Let them finish right there. This is the whole reason why we're doing this. Let them finish. I think Bitcheck can wait. He's patient.
No, well, Simon just said he's leaving.
Well, if I leave, no one else can come up on the stage. So what I was gonna do is kick you all out.
Where's Aeon?
Okay,
He's
we can
asleep.
end if you want, but
I
He's
will
asleep.
sue you.
I just I just want to say everything I have done is about trying to get the assets so that they are worth the right amount possible in the right operator, so that creditors can have a recovery. Because I'm the 7th largest creditor, as I keep saying. So what's your theory of that? You may disagree with what I'm doing, but I can tell you that you are going to benefit a lot from the work that I've done if you're a creditor.
Yeah, before my question got hijacked, I just wanted to say keep doing what you're doing if you are working for creditors. But as an advice, keep the ad hominem attacks like naming Jamers or whoever like to a minimum, because that for me it's cringe. I follow you, I read everything you put out, but for me, it's more valuable information where I actually learn something about the case instead of reading that you have an opinion about someone else, right? And yeah.
Well, I appreciate the constructive feedback, but I am also a human, and I do have a personality,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
get
not
it.
just a robot.
I get it. I just wanted to remind you, that's all.
You're not a bot. You just hire them, right?
I mean,
No, you
Simon, your
have a
life would be a lot
responsibility.
easier
And
if you.
for the record, I'm plagued by bots, but I've never paid or hired any kind of bot for anything.
I
Well,
think
your
Simo is
reputation
saying the
is going to
right thing
take a
though.
real bend.
Your life would be so much easier if you just just didn't dignify them with whatever.
That's such a good one-liner.
Sure.
You're not a bot, but you're hired.
But Jason Amerson is coming after me in court to try and disqualify my 289 bitcoins that were deleted from my account.
You should have given him a commission.
No, he's coming after them now. He wants them disqualified.
No,
It
you
can't
shouldn't.
happen now because the bar
Shouldn't
date
do
was
that.
reopened.
But Simon,
You're
a claim
fine.
is a claim. How's he
You
gonna?
can't.
Jamers runs deep with you. Yeah, I'm sorry,
I'm going
Simon.
to speak to James about this. You shouldn't do that.
Simon, there's no reason that you can't put that back on your claim. And I said it from the beginning. They shouldn't fuck around and do that to you.
No, I know.
But the
It's
claim
a
bar date's
clear-cut
open, so
case.
he can't do nothing. Yeah, it is. You're right.
All right. Well, anyway, pay him a bug bounty, and somebody else start a space because no one else can come on stage if I leave. All right. I'm going to leave it muted, so go start a space.